Job's done.
Hello fellow nerds and nerdettes, and welcome to another video. In this video, as you probably read a few seconds ago, but I'm going to reiterate it anyway, I'm going to be talking about some things that we need to do before Legion comes because it's pretty much just around the corner, and if we don't get these things out of the way, it's going to be a very long time before we can actually do these things again because we're going to have another expansion to dive into and to all the content. So this video is 10 things that you need to do before Legion comes. And let's go ahead and get into it. And number 10 I put as mount farming, just to get this one out of the way, because mount farming is just such a general thing that us WoW players end up doing just, when we have some downtime in the game. Now, I actually have this one on my list because it's not just mount farming that we need to do to get out of the way. It's just that if we don't really get as many mounts out of the way as possible, Legion has a ton of mounts coming. And if we don't get as many as we can out of the way, it's just going to be more and more that we have to actually end up farming. And it's just going to be more time consuming than it is, at least currently. So that would be why it is on my number 10, and let's move on to number 9. Number 9 things you need to do is you need to start the legendary ring questline, and that is if you actually plan on doing this on any characters that you currently have. If you plan on doing it, you need to make sure that you at least start it as soon as you possibly can, because for one, it takes quite a long time to get your ring to 795, and most of that really does come from raiding and all that crap, but it does take a while. And if you don't start it now, if you wait a couple months, 3 months or so, they're pretty much just going to be screwed, and it really wouldn't be much worth the time actually getting the quest going, because you wouldn't really have a ring by the end of this expansion. Because in my eyes, things that I see in alpha currently, there's not a whole lot of time we actually have to get a lot of this done. So number 9 stays at number 9, and let's move on. Okay, and go. Number 8, oh my god, I kind of dread doing this one, especially on my main. As you see here, my bank is absolutely full, but I do need to get around to it eventually. But number 8 is you need to clean out your bank. Now, I'm going to kind of describe what I mean by cleaning out your bank. What you need to clean out your bank is not to clear everything out of your bank and get rid of it, because, well, you need... I would suggest holding on to the gear that you have, at least for now, because in Legion, we will be getting the awesome transmog UI where we can, it's like a closet, going into a closet and picking out whatever clothes you want to wear, whatever transmog you want to have, and we should be able to have access to all of the things that we have looted in the past. So we're going to have a whole lot of gear actually available at our disposal now. The reason why I say don't clean out your gear is just in case there's like some kind of bug or anything that can kind of eliminate the fact that you picked up a dagger or you picked up a sword that it's just somehow isn't available. I just suggest to get against it, and I'm holding on to all of my gear, all of my weapons, mostly weapons, but all of that kind of crap just in case. Now, the reason why you need to clean out your bank is Legion's going to be bringing us a whole ton of new stuff to get, and we're going to need the bag space to actually put that stuff when we don't have room in our actual bags, so we'll need to put it into our bank. That is why I say clean out your bank, because you might have a ton of mats like leather or sumptuous fur, whatever the crap it may be. You might have that, just stuffed in your bank somewhere, and at least cleaning that out as much as you can. It's just going to be way easier before the expansion comes. Now, if you've done it already, good for you, because I I'm having a hard time getting around to it, but I'm going to be getting to it soon enough. Just when it comes closer, I know I'm gonna have to do it. So yeah, that's my number 8. Silly, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to number 7. Finish up raids and get the transmog gear. Now, what I mean by finish up the raids, that is do Hellfire Citadel, do Blackrock Foundry, and do Heimel. And get the transmog gear, but that means pick up the gear along the way because, well, I'm going to tell you a little story. I main a clothwear, I main a mage, and in my experience in World of Warcraft, although some people might disagree with me, I'm sure that's going to happen, but there hasn't exactly been a lot of cloth gear, mainly shoulders, that that I haven't exactly liked a whole lot. But in Warlords of Tranor, that has been the opposite, right? I found a ton of pieces that I actually really like on my mage, and I like on my other tunes too. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one with this. So grab all the gear that you can because we're going to be able to transmog gear. Like I'm getting kind of way overexcited for this. Maybe not, but we're going to be able to transmog all sorts of gear in Legion. We're going to have so many options and so many choices that, getting the gear, just having that part out of the way so we wouldn't have to actually farm the gear in the future, that's going to do a huge, huge favor for you. And with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to number 6. Yes. Number 6. Get your rating achievements done and get your AOTC. And what I mean by getting your rating achievements done is get your Glory of the Draenor Raider, because getting that now is going to be a heck of a lot easier than if you were to actually get it in Legion, because, well, the bosses are not going to be soloable, at least most of them, just because of some of the mechanics, and it's just going to be kind of a pain in the ass, especially when Legion comes. And we're all going to be focusing on Legion stuff. Not everybody's going to want to go back into HFC or, Blackrock Foundry to get all those achievements done, because there really are a lot to actually do. And the reason why I mentioned AOTC was because once we get into Legion, if you have AOTC achievements, at least for Archimond, if you have them for the rest, that'll be great. But if you at least have them for Archimond, you'll have a much, much easier time actually getting into raids once they become available, and also getting into the heroic dungeons or the challenge dungeons once those become available. And these challenge dungeons actually look to be very fun and very, very rewarding. Number 5, it's a pretty simple thing, but most of us haven't exactly finished this because, well, it's definitely a long process to actually finish doing this. And I'm totally teasing you a little bit. But I'm pretty sure some of you have already guessed what I'm going to say. But get your legendary ring upgraded fully to 795. And that's not just a simple thing to say. Because, hey, you know what? There are a couple really cool things about getting your ring to 795. For one, you do a massive amount of damage for bursting, especially for progression bosses, but that's not the reason why I bring this up. In Legion, there are going to be rares, there are going to be things that need to die, and you might not be able to solo, but if you have a legendary ring, this is going to make the process much, 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 much easier to actually obtain. So, and the other thing is, 795 ring, it's probably going to be good for quite a while. Number 4, get your Draenor Pathfinder achievement. And you know what? There's a couple reasons why you need to get this done. The first reason, well, flying, it's super amazing. It makes everything way, 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 way easier. flying around in Tanan Jungle, getting quests done, leveling up in Warlords as soon as you get to 90. Getting from 90 to 100 takes me about an hour. But anyway, flying. If speaking of leveling, right? If you want to level through Janor, and if you do not have flying, if you don't have that achievement done, you're probably not going to have a fun time leveling, and it's going to take freaking, forever. So make sure that you get flying done. And with number 3, level up alts. And not just, level up an alt because it's something to do when there's nothing else to do, because I'm pretty sure a lot of us have leveled up a lot of alts. And the reason why I say level up an alt is because of artifact weapons. And say there's a class or spec you haven't exactly tried before, and you kind of want to try out an artifact weapon. The abilities on the artifact weapons are going to be so cool and so unique to the specific class and to the specific spec that you actually pick. So this is why I say level up an alt, because it's going to be very, very fun, Number 2, stop spending gold. And the reason why that would be is because right now, where we're at in this expansion's tenure, the markets, it's just really, really hard to actually make the money unless you have the followers doing gold missions every day. Otherwise, the market's just kind of starting to go to crap, and you need to hold on to your money and you hold on to your gold, because, well, every single thing in Legion, once it comes out, as soon as people start putting stuff on the auction house, things are going to be very, very expensive. And if you need to buy something, you're going to need to have the gold to do it. So that would be my number 2. And moving on to number 1. And moving on to our number 1 thing that you need to make sure that you do before Legion comes, and that is make as much gold as you absolutely can. And there are a lot of ways to make gold. One really big way I've been able to make a ton of gold is by using my garrison. I do have a whole bunch of videos on that, helping you if you tend to struggle in that area. And the reason why you want to make as much gold as you can before Legion is because, well, there's going to be new things to buy, new things to sell, right? And if you don't really have the gold to buy all that stuff that you want to get so badly, you're not really going to have it to get it. So make as much gold as you absolutely can. And that's going to be it. Alrighty, and that would conclude this video. And if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I will be making a whole ton of these videos. And as soon as I can get myself into Legion beta, I will be doing much, much more. And if you'd like to leave a suggestion for a video, feel free to do so. And thanks for watching, and you all have a great day.